Hello, and welcome back to my blog, Essays on the Constitution of the United States, published during its discussion by the people, edited by Paul Leicester Ford. Part 8, Cassius 7, the Massachusetts Gazette, number 387, Friday, November 30th, 1787. For the Massachusetts Gazette. I believe it may be asserted for fact that since the foundations of the universe were laid, there has no kind of government been formed without opposition being made to it from one quarter or another. There always has been, and ever will be, in every country, men who have no other aim in view than to be in direct opposition to everything which takes place or which is proposed to be adopted. This class of beings always wish to make themselves important and to incur notice. And conscious of their inability to obtain that notice which is bestowed on the patriot and the just man, they put up, because they cannot help it, with being noticed only for their absurdity and folly. When you hear this class of would-bes engaged in condemning any form of government or anything else, ask them this simple question. What do you think would be better than that which you condemn? Oh, that is quite another matter, would most probably be the answer. We are not adequate to the task of fabricating a government. We leave that to wiser heads. But, they will continue, it is easy for any one to discover the imperfections in this form of government we are condemning. Strange absurdity, inadequate to the task of constructing, yet capable of criticizing upon and pointing out the defects of anything which is constructed. Well, may we say, in the words of another, quote, some are bewildered in the maze of schools, and some made critics nature meant but fools. In search of wit, these lose their common sense, and then turn critics in their own defense. End quote. There is not, in the extensive circle of human nature, objects more completely despicable than those who take upon them to censure and condemn a work without being able to substitute anything preferable in lieu of it. In those objects last mentioned, this country considerably abounds, as the newspaperial pages fully evince. They have been busily employed of late in finding fault with the plan of government proposed by the Federal Convention. They have almost exhausted their folly, knavery, absurdity, and ridiculous, inconclusive, non-applicable arguments on the subject. And in my opinion, was this question asked them, what do you mean by all your learned farrago about this matter? They could not give any other reasonable answer than their intent was to exhibit specimens of their scribbling talents. But I will dismiss this subject for the present in order to make a few remarks on the conduct of some others, since the proposed form of government made its appearance. In some assemblies, where the necessity of calling a state convention to consider of the merits of the new Constitution has been debated, some gentlemen who were opposed to the plan of federal government, while they reprobated it, at the same time declared that none were more truly federal than themselves. What a pity it is for these patriots in theory that actions speak louder than words, and that the people are so incredulous as not to believe a thing which they know to be directly the reverse of the truth. It ever prejudices people against arguments, even if they should happen to be just, if they are prefaced by a glaring falsehood. This sharpers do not always consider when they are attempting to carry their favorite points. It is something to be wondered at that a certain theoretical patriot, instead of saying he would sooner have lost his hand than subscribed his name to the plan of federal government, had not have declared that he would sooner have lost his head and the amazing fund of federal wisdom it contains before he would have been guilty of so horrid an act. Look around you, inhabitants of America, and see of what characters the anti-federal junto are composed. Are any of them men of that class who, in the late war, made bare their arms and girded on the helmet in your defense? Few, very few indeed, of the anti-federalists are men of this character. But who are they that are supporters of that grand republican fabric, the federal Constitution? Are they not the men who were among the first to assert the rights of freemen and put a check to the invasions of tyranny? Are they not, many of them, men who have fought and bled under the banners of liberty? Most certainly this is the case. Will you then, countrymen and fellow citizens, give heed to these infamous anti-federal slanderers who, in censuring the proposed plan of federal government, have dared, basely dared, to treat even the characters of a Washington and a Franklin with reproach? Surely you will not. Your good sense and discernment will lead you to treat with abhorrence and contempt every artifice which is put in practice to sap the confidence you have in men who are the boast of their country and an honor to human nature. You certainly cannot harbor an idea so derogatory to reason and the nature of things as that men who for 8 years have fought and struggled to obtain and secure to you freedom and independence should now be engaged in a design to subvert your liberties and reduce you to a state of servitude. Reason revolts at the thought, and none but the infamous incendiary or the unprincipled monster would insinuate a thing so vile. Cassius. I should have some comments about that. At the moment, I don't. I mean, I do, but they're lengthy. Maybe I'll write them. As for now, make it a great day. And bye for now.